Hi everybody, welcome to Squishy Reads. I'm Sydney and today we're going to do my February 2020 wrap-up. So, for the month of February, I read 12 books, 2 of which were graphic novels. 5 of them were parts of one series. 1 was unconnected to anything else, and the rest were part of the Contemporary-a-thon. So let's get started. For the month of February, I had a really good reading month, mostly because a good portion of the books were from the same series. I had 7 5-star reads, 4 3-star reads, 2 3-star reads, and no 2 or 1 stars. The first one that I read, which I actually don't have, I got it as an ebook, is Y the Last Man, I thought it was The Last Man Standing, but Y the Last Man, Volume 2, Cycles. I can't reveal a lot about this one because it is the second book in the series. It is a graphic novel, and it is about a man, Y, who is the last man remaining in this mysterious illness that all the men in the world just died, except for Y and his male pet monkey. That's it. And it's now a female-run society, and there's a lot of chaos because basically half the population just up and died, and a lot of weird things that happen with the very overly feminist groups that determine that men are the scourge of the earth and that the last remaining man needs to die. There are also the women that, of course, want to use the last remaining man. So it's a really good graphic novel. It was recommended to me, and I really, really enjoyed it. So, wow. For the first physical book I read The Silent Wife by A.S.A. Harrison. I didn't really like this. I gave it a 3 stars. I was not the largest fan. The book was really slow. It is a very slow thriller. And I think that took part of it. It was very slow. And the way that the ending wrapped up, like, you know what's gonna happen. The beginning of the book, within the first chapter, it tells you what's gonna happen at the end. But the way that they wrap it up in the end just doesn't feel satisfying. And it does what a lot of slow burns do, that they don't just slow burn and then gradually introduce things. It goes from 0 to 100 really quick. And very few books pull that off well, and this is not one of them. I would definitely be interested in trying out something from A.S.A. Harrison in the future, but until then, this book I'm not getting a reread. I'm 100% getting rid of it. I'm not a fan. It was an okay read. That was it. It was okay. So, for the second book, it was for the start of Contemporary-a-thon. I don't remember what challenges fulfilled. I think it fulfilled several because I planned on reading 7 books, and I think I got to I got to 4. Still more than half. But I read Dear Edward. It was one of my January books of the month. Dear Edward, I have a more in-depth review in my Contemporary-a-thon, I think. I haven't watched that video in a bit. I'm pretty sure I have a more in-depth review. But Dear Edward is about I believe, a 10 or 11-year-old kid who is the sole survivor in a massive plane crash where over 1,000 people have died. And it's how he copes with that. It's how he copes with life, survivor's guilt, dealing with the survivor's family, his family was also on the plane, being basically an orphan and being adopted by his aunt and uncle, and just growing up. I gave this 4 stars. I really liked it, but there were too many characters at points that it just felt like it was doing a lot, and I wanted just more focus. And then it went to trope at the very end that I was not a fan of, and the trope also hurt because it's like, oh yeah, this is all great. Why are we adding this other element to the story that doesn't need it? but I gave it 4 stars. I did enjoy it. I definitely want to read anything by Anne Napolitano in the future. I believe she also has written A Good Hard Look and Within Arm's Reach, and she's an editor for a literary magazine. But I would definitely read things that she writes in the future. I enjoyed this. I definitely did. There were some problematic things for me that did not make it my favorite and is not something I will reread, and also not something I will keep, but I liked it. I'm gonna try to give it back to sell it to my used bookstore, but because it's a hardback and contemporary, they don't tend to take those, so this is probably getting donated to my local library. Okay. The one I'm really upset about, The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. This was another Contemporary-a-thon book, and you can watch my vlogs down, I think they're on my channel somewhere. But you can watch my very ragey review of this. I gave this book 3 stars. This book pulled the Twilight. And whenever you read this, you will fully understand. It pulled a trope that I really, really hate. Really hate. And it took this amazing story in the last, like, 25% of it, like 75% of the book, whenever it pulled this trope that was so unnecessary, I got very ragey. And while it was already going to be like a 4, maybe 5-star read, it got docked to a 3. Some things are totally unnecessary. Just give me a good book. Stop adding in unnecessary tropes. I'm not sure I'll read anything from her in the future. I am definitely never reading this again. This is from the library. Really glad I didn't buy it. It gets 3 stars because I really liked it up until the trope happened. So there's that. And I can't say the trope without spoiling it, but it's a contemporary romance. If you can't figure out the trope that will happen about 75% of the book, you don't read contemporary romances, because it's a really common trope. It's a reason I don't read romance books generally. Okay. The 5th book that I read the month was Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I gave this one 4 stars. I really, really, really liked it, but it was also very much a John Green book. The only reason it did not get 5 stars for me is because this book is about a girl who's dealing with OCD. There's also an element in the story about having to find this missing multi-millionaire. Yeah, that part of the story should not have existed. Like, there should not have been this outrageous circumstance. No, just write a book about a girl in high school dealing with OCD. That would have been great. Don't include something that literally nobody can relate to, which is, hey, multimillionaire goes missing, need to find him to get this $10,000 reward. No. I did really enjoy it, though. I wouldn't reread it, though. I am getting rid of it. I won't reread it just because I don't want to reread that sub-story about the missing millionaire. So, the 6th book. The 6th book that I read in the month of February is The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith. This one I gave 4 stars as well. It was also part of Contemporary-a-thon, as was Turtles All the Way Down. This book I really liked, as much as you can like a book about rape. It is about a girl who was raped and then how she copes with life. She was raped her freshman year of high school, and then how she copes with the rest of high school. And it's broken up into freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year. The only reason it got 4 stars is because it started out very, very slowly. And I believe this is something that I've seen in other reviews them criticize. Freshman year is not, I did not enjoy it. I felt like if I wasn't reading this for a Contemporary-a-thon, I might have DNF'd it. But sophomore year was better, junior year was great, senior year was great. The slow start is the only reason I rate it 4 stars. I don't really want to read it again. It takes a lot for me to want to reread a book, which we will talk about later, but this is not one that I would want to reread. I'm also going to try to sell it to my used bookstore. I'm not keeping anything except the very last book in this list. Now, we're going to come down to the 5 Wayward Children books that I read for my Wayward Children series read. We have Every Heart a Doorway These are all by Sean McGuire, by the way, but Every Heart a Doorway. Down Among the Sticks and Bones. Beneath the Sugar Sky. In an Absent Dream. And Come Tumbling Down. I read all of these in order, and I really liked them. They are 5-star reads for me. These 4 were actually rereads, and these 2 I had actually read 2 other times before. So this was 3rd reread. These 2 were 2nd reread, and this was a 1st-time read. They're all 5 stars. This one is probably my least favorite one of the series, but I'll still reread it. It's still awesome. One day I will buy all of these. One day. It'll happen. Until then, I just get them from the library because I'm cheap like that. One day I might like try to get them on Book Outlet, but I love them all. There's really not much more to say about them. I have a full video explaining why I love these. There are 2 videos of me reading this series. They're great, and they're all 5 stars. And that's what it takes for me to reread a book. It's gotta be 5 stars. Or there's just so many books. I don't want to reread things because there are so many. And then speaking of rereads, for my first Manga Monday, which I'm hoping to post tomorrow, I still have to read the second one of these. I am going through the Hollow Field series, and I love this book. It is an omnibus. The only reason I got it is I got it from a second-hand Charles, which, for those of you who don't know, it is Books A Million. It's a big bookstore chain like Barnes & Noble, but it's their used bookstore branch, and I got this for $5 years ago, and I love it. It's a great little steampunk, like, I want to say this is young adult middle grade manga, words, but I want to say it's middle grade young adult. It's really good, and I love it. It's fantastic, and I'm keeping this. I think I've read this like 3 times now. I don't know. I've read it at least one other time. This is great, and I love it, and it's 5 stars. So yeah, not really exciting. We had like a couple books at the beginning of the month. We had the Contemporary-a-thon. We had my Wayward Children series reading. And then we had part of my first Manga Monday. And that's all I got this month. If you guys liked the video, like it down below. And of course I have to do the obligatory, let's see how many books I can hold without it collapsing. But yeah, these are all the books. And there's quite a bit of them. I mean, I feel accomplished. They're kind of heavy. But I enjoyed this month. It's not really exciting or epic, but it was great. If you guys have any suggestions of books that you'd like for me to read in the future, please leave them down in the comments below, whether it's your favorite book. Let me know what your favorite book was that you read this month. Let me know how many books you read. All of that lovely jazz. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, or watch my channel grow. I'm trying to get better. Who knows if I'll be able to post frequently in the future, but we're gonna try. It'll be a process. But yeah, that's all I got. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.